Hello and welcome to episode 61 of Daryl Show Your Work. And in this episode, I will be using AWS again. And this time, I'll be walking through how to create security groups in the AWS platform. So, for those who may not be privy what an AWS security group is, think of it as a virtual firewall that controls inbound and outbound traffic for resources like our Amazon EC2 instances, which I will be displaying today. So to get started, I am going to go over to these three stripes right here. I'm going to go to all services. All right, I'm gonna scroll down here to networking and content delivery, and I'm gonna choose VPC as soon as my machine catches up with me here. All right, so but VPC is short for virtual or private cloud. For those that don't know, so we'll be working with an just an internal cloud here, and nothing public. All right, so on the left side of my screen here, I'm going to go to security group since that's what we'll be working with. All right, and then I'm going up here to my upper right hand and choose create security group. All right, so I need to give this security group a name here. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to let's call it web server SG for user for excuse me for security group, and I'm going to name it after my username right here in the upper right hand corner. So I'm going to say 56 128 293. All right, now I'm just copy this just to be able to recycle and use later. All right, and then I need to give it a description because that's a mandatory field. So I'm going to say security group for web server. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing first, I'm gonna set up these security groups, and then I'm gonna actually create the instances. So I'm gonna create a security group for a web server instance that I'm going to create, and then I'm also going to create a application server security group, which I'm going to create an instance for as well. All right, so I need to set my virtual private cloud to the one that I have established here already, which is Lab VPC A, and I need to set the inbound rules because remember we're working with a firewall here. So first thing I'm gonna tell it, I want to allow HTTP traffic since this is a web server, and I want it to come from I want it to be able to take traffic from anywhere. All right, and then I want it also. I'm gonna add a rule. I want it to allow traffic from also from HTTPS, and we're gonna allow that from anywhere. And then I'm going to do SSH, and we're going to allow that from anywhere. All right. So I'm not going to set any outbound rules. So I'm going to hit create security group to create that security group. All right. Now that's the security group for the web server that I'm going to create, web server instance that I'm going to create. All right. So now I need to create one for my application server instance. So I'm going to click security groups here again on my left. And then on back up here on my right, create security group. All right, so I'm going to name this new one app server SG for security group. All right, then I'm going to give it the same label with my user ID. All right, then we're going to say security group for app server. Spell server, right? All right. I'm going to choose my established virtual private cloud here. All right, and then I need to set some inbound rules for this. So similarly, I'm going to say HTTP, and then I'm gonna set a custom rule for this, and we want this to be associated with my web server. So this is going to be an internal server, and we want to be able to associate it with our web server instance. So all right, so I'm going to choose the security group here. All right, and then I'm going to do it again for HTTPS. So this is going to be the application server, and you'll see when I start making it that it's going to be it's going to be on our private end, because it's on the back end, and it's internal to the enterprise, and it's not going to be publicly facing. Right? Let's say, where are you? Here we go. Okay, tie it to that. All right, so we should be good to go here for our application server, a security group. All right, now it's time to create the actual instances that we're going to tie them to. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to scroll down to compute right here, and I'm going to choose EC2. All right, so now I'm going to begin creating that web server and that application server. And part of my virtual machine here is a little slow. All right, so I'm going to click on launch instance to begin creating these virtual server instances. All right, so the first server I'm going to create is actually the application server. So I'm gonna name this app server. All right, let me wait for this to finish loading up so I have access to all the configurations here. All right. So I'm going to leave this the same as far as the server image that we're going to use in terms of operating system. I'm just going to leave it as the Amazon machine image, and I'm going to leave everything as is. So I'm not going to mess with that, but just waiting for this to load up. But what I am going to change is the instance type. All right. So I'm going to change that to T2 dot micro. All right, scrolling down here, we're going to scroll down here to network settings. All right, so I want to tie this to an existing security group. So actually, before I do that, I actually need to edit some network settings. So I'm gonna click edit right here before I try to do that. All right, so first thing I need to do, I need to associate this with my established virtual private cloud. All right, and then I'm going to change this. So since this is going to be, this is not going to be publicly facing, so I want to change this to private subnet A1. All right, so this won't be publicly accessible. It'll just be accessible internally here to the enterprise. All right, so then under security groups now, I want to tie this to the application a security group, app server security group. So those rules that I set will now apply to this virtual instance. Going down, I'm going to expand advanced details here. All right, so I'm going to change the metadata version, and this is just this is just explaining what this is, and it basically involves session tokens and the like. So I'm going to set that to V1 and V2 token optional. All right. So here I'm going to place I'm gonna place a script here. All right, and I'm gonna paste that in here again, so I don't waste a whole bunch of time fat fingering stuff. So what's going on here is this is going to configure the application service. What now actually is going to configure the web server that hosts the PHP based web page that's on it. And then it's going to configure the EC2 instance to use the default storage. All right, so that's what this is doing. It's basically just configuring some things. All right. So we should be good to go. I'm going to launch the instance. All right. So I'm actually going to launch this instance without a key pair. All right. Hence why I skipped over that part when um when creating this. So I'm hit launch instance. All right. So let's take a look at it. Well, then we go to view all instances right here. All right, so we can see that that's running. Just click inside of here just so we can look at some of the details. All right, so you can see our new private IP4 address. Of course, there's no public IP4 address because again, this is just internal to the enterprise, so it is not publicly facing. So then let's get started creating that publicly facing web server. All right, so I'm gonna go back here to the dashboard under EC2. All right, let's click on launch instance. Pardon the speed of my machine here seems to not be very cooperative here with the application that I use here to film these videos. because I certainly wasn't having these issues when I was going through this before, and it seems like this just started until I started taping. So it seems like AWS doesn't really get along with what I'm using here. So, all right, so I'm gonna start naming this, and I'm gonna just call this web server. And I'm pretty much gonna keep the same specifications here, except for maybe a few things. So I'm going to definitely change the instance type again. So waiting for this to load up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to change this to T2 dot micro again. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to launch this again with no key pair again. So I'm going to skip over that part. All right. Then I need to edit my network settings again. All right, so we're going to set this to my established virtual private cloud. Just waiting for it to catch up here. We're going to wait. Yeah, as you can see, like I said, it's not really getting along here, but give me a minute. Let me see. Let me try some things here to see if I can. Okay. All right. So choosing my virtual private cloud. All right, and then I'm going to select the existing security group, and we're going to tie this into the security group that that I previously made. No, not there. That I previously made for specifically for the web server, and so we're going to associate all those security groups rules with this web server. All right, so here it is. All right. So then I'm going to go to advanced network configuration, and I'm going to set that. Well, no, let me see. No, I don't want to set. No, actually, no, I want to do advanced configurations, not advanced details. Here we go. Not advanced security, not advanced network configuration. Excuse me. So I want to set up that those metadata version again, and I'm going to say V1 and V2 token optional. All right. Then I'm going to add some more code down here. All right, just copying that. Okay, so what this set of code here does, this is user data, a script, and it contains the private IP address of the app server instance. So it's tying these two things together, and you can see here where it says private IP address, and this is where it was stored at, that particular element. All right, so I'm going to hit launch instance. All right, and I'm going to proceed without a key pair again. And for those interested in the key pairs, I've done another video covering that specific subject matter. Just a FYI. All right, so I'm going to go view all instances. All right, just waiting for that to load here. Let's see. Let's try to reload the page. The web server instance should be there. All right, so we can see the web server instance has been added here. So I'm gonna click and go into that. All right, so we have our public IP address here now. We have our private IP address. So let's try to test this out. Let's see if I can actually. I want to test one of these out. Let's see if we can access this EC2 instance, this web server. All right, I'm gonna hit connect, and it should be real simple. It's just a real simple PHP page. All right, so it looked like it loaded here. Hold on, let me bring this up. Move this up here for us to see. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. See, just simple, just a simple, simple message, simple web page. So those that were patient enough to make it all the way to the end of my video here, thank you for your patience, because I know my system here was moving at a snail's pace today in this video. All right, but to give a high level summary of what I did here, so created two security groups. First one for a web server and another for application server. All right, and then once I created those, I created EC2 instance for the application server, which would be privately hosted on the back end and within our enterprise. And then I created that front-facing web server that the public would be interacting with. I created that EC2 instances, and when I created those, I tied each one of those instances to their respective security groups. All right, and then I was able to confirm a successful connection here to our web server with that security group tied to it. So please like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time.